So we have a new object which will help us to get tempo synchronization between computers over networks. And we're using something that's created by Ableton, which is called the Ableton.link system. So they have a MaximSP object for this. So link.beat is the Ableton live link algorithm in a max format. So if I click this, go to the Open Link Beat help, this will sort of show us a little bit about what's going on with this link.beat object. So to make it easier for us, I created an MLE.link object. So this basically takes this link.beat object, wraps it up, and makes it output some information that will help us to stay in sync. So let's take a look at the output of our MLE.link. On our left is a number which is giving us essentially what beat we're on. And if you have a bunch of these MLE.link objects, they're always going to stay in sync. So these numbers will always be the same even when your computers are on different networks. There might be small variations in terms of when the numbers actually, when the beats occur, like a couple of milliseconds plus or minus as you go over a network, but generally speaking, these numbers will stay in sync. There's two outlets. The first outlet is 0 indexed, which means the lowest number is 0. This outlet is 1 indexed, which means the lowest number is 1. There are some objects which are 1 indexed as opposed to 0 indexed. So that's why that's there. And over here, we have another outlet which is just giving us our current tempo, and this is in case we have an object that needs to use the tempo for some sort of calculation. So really easy to create an MLE link. As soon as you create it, it should start putting out your clock right here. We can send it some information. On our left, we can change the tempo here, and this will change how fast these numbers run. So these numbers are actually the number of beats, number of subdivisions per beat. So if our tempo is a 120, we have, at this instance, 8 subdivisions of 120. So that's pretty fast, actually. If I go to tempo down to pretty slow, then that's a really slow tempo, but our subdivisions are 8 subdivisions out of 30 BPM. So you'll sort of tweak these two numbers to get the rate that you want. On the right-hand side, we can say how many subdivisions we want. So if you only want 4 subdivisions, you can do that. Now again, our tempo hasn't changed, so 4 subdivisions are going to be slower than 8 subdivisions, which can be slower than 16 subdivisions, which will be slower than 32 subdivisions, which will be slower than 256 subdivisions, right? And of course, we can only go so slow over here. Let's see, let's get something a little more reasonable. So here's 32. There's at 30 BPM, 20 BPM, 10 BPM. So at some point, Ableton.link starts ignoring us because we're going to ridiculous BPMs. Nobody's ever going to do a BPM of 10 cycles, 10 beats a minute. So at some point, I think it's around 20 is the minimum BPM. And then above that, it'll actually start speeding up. So, so that's the MLE.link object. And actually, conveniently, if we right-click this, we can go to MLE.link help. And this is going to give us a little file sort of showing us a lot of that same information wrapped up, and you can access this anytime. So I'm going to go ahead and turn my volume up a little bit. And here we can hear we've got 16 beats. Notice I typed in 16 as an argument here. So I could type in MLE.link 8, and 8 there. And now we only have 8. Or I could type in MLE.link 32, and we get more. We can also send those same numbers as a number box. Notice that as I'm changing these numbers, I'm going to kind of go crazy. Go back to 16, and these two are still synchronized. So as long as two MLE.link objects have the same number of subdivisions, the number they're putting out will always be equal. Cool, so that's it. So to use MLE.link is really, really simple. Hopefully that helps create some tempo synced compositions.